Welcome to Makers International, a podcast of makers from 3 countries, 2 continents, and featuring 5 guys separated only by the same language. Here's your host, Richard Morley.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good times, whatever time it is, wherever you're listening. Joined with me, as always, Mr. Chris Cute.
Hey, what's up?
And Mr. Alan Robinson.
How you doing, fellas?
Mr. Joe Whittaker.
You're right, Sam, yeah.
And he's more special case than special guest. It's Jamie Page.
Hello.
Already crying.
How are we this evening, Jamie?
I'm bricking it.
Excellent. Well, they say the secret to a good thriller is the suspense, so just hang slack there 1 second, my friend. We'll do this week's normal shout outs and thank yous. So we've got first out the gate a Mida Mike's Workshop, Jim Dockrell,
Beedo. I'm out of glass.
Ragtie, Bruce Chastain, KSFWG, and Andrew McQuillan. Also, a big thank you and shout out to each and every one of the individuals to hit the like button over on YouTube. Really does help, particularly if you have your accounts connected with your Twitter feeds. Over on SoundCloud also, people do actually listen to us on SoundCloud. Michael Murray. So again, Michael, thank you. You can rate us. You can rate us currently on iTunes and all the other places where we are doing stuff. Chris, do we have any random list of questions from last week?
No.
We don't. Good. Right, so moving swiftly on. It says in my notes to introduce the main topic. So tonight is a rather interesting one. Putting the no in notoriety, the pub in publicity, a turner, a scroll soarer, a general out-and-out lunatic is my friend and yours, Jamie Page. Jamie, blah, blah, blah.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, Jamie. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, it's funny to be here.
You're here every week, aren't you? I forgot.
Yeah, I'm the only one that ever is.
I thought I'd give you an extra special intro this week, Jamie, because you're actually the only person that's always been here for every single episode.
I know, 51 episodes in a row.
That's pretty good going, that is. Excellent. Yeah. I really don't know where to go now.
I do. The translation for that is Jamie needs a life.
Yeah, maybe. I guess you could say I'm committed.
Or you need to be committed. Yeah.
I need to be, yeah.
I like the way everyone jumped on that at exactly the moment.
Yeah. And it's weird as well because I'm not Canadian.
Well, let's find out about our pal JP. I mean, I think Alan normally starts the questioning off. So, Alan, if you want to begin the questioning today, then God love you. Let's jump into this and find out what unfortunately makes Jamie Page tick.
I do want to jump into it. I'm not going to start it the way I always do. I do want to get to your origin story, Jamie, but I want to ask what's on everybody's mind, and it's what happened to you. What is with your what happened to make you the way that you are?
Well, this is Mother Nature, I guess. I mean,
okay, well,
I'm trying to covering it with a beard.
It's your Photoshops. Your Photoshops mostly above all else. You're well known for your insanity on Photoshop and all the endless pictures you've made of everybody. Can you explain those to us at all?
I don't know really, to be honest. I think the first ever the Photoshop you put all these up. Good God.
I'm back here waiting for your answer, Jamie.
The first ever the first ever Photoshop I ever done was of Laney Shaughnessy, and I turned him into a what's that, or that movie where they were all blue, Avatar.
Yeah, the Avatar.
Oh, those horny cats.
That's good. I like that one. Yeah, I turned him into Avatar, and what happened was he was quite shocked by it, and I actually got to meet Laney for the first time in Atlanta, and I was actually wearing a Jackman Works T-shirt, and I went up to Laney, and obviously we'd interviewed him on the podcast as well, and it got mentioned there as well, so he kind of knew who I was as well. And I went up to Laney and I said, "You're right, Laney. Do you know who I am?" And he looked at the T-shirt and he went, "Yeah, Jackman Works." And I went, "No." I said, "I'll give you a clue, Avatar." And he went, "Oh no."
Infamous from start.
Yeah,
Jamie,
but,
Jamie, do you need a change? Because
I'm trying to comfort you here, Jamie, so you can get through this question.
oh, it's all right. I'm like that. I'm like Carl Jacobson on Twitch with me asking him a question.
Professional to the end.
Okay, let's actually get
Yeah.
into it. Why don't you go ahead and give us your origin story, please?
My origin story. How did it all start? I've always been infatuated with making. I've always been brought up around making of some sort of sense, if you like. Ever since I was a little kid, I used to go to work with my dad. He worked on building sites, and he was like a tower crane operator, and I just loved the idea of tower cranes and my dad being up that high. And like I said, I always used to go to work with him and things like that. And one day he promised me that he'd build me a tower crane in the back garden when I was a little kid, and I held him to that promise for years and years and years. Obviously, it never happened. But one day when I think I was in my early 20s, I think, one day there was a like a stocking, if you like, but it was actually in a carrier bag outside my door. And inside this carrier bag was a tower crane, like toy. And I just went, "Oh my God," and just burst out laughing. But it actually got to the point where there was progress on him making the tower crane, because he actually brought home 2 levers from work years ago. That I do remember, but I can't remember how old exactly. But I used to have my own little shed in the back garden, and ever since I can remember, I've always been hammering and nailing and screwing up.
well, Jamie, we didn't ask you about the neighbor's daughter. We're talking about how you
But,
Origins as a maker, Jamie.
as a maker.
Yeah, I've always been. Yes, sawing and cutting and
Again,
all sorts.
Take it easy, man.
that poor little girl.
Digging.
Oh, Jamie,
and...
I get it.
So yeah, I've always had the love for making. I've never been one for sitting down at an office job. I've always enjoyed getting my hands dirty when it comes to making. So yeah, that's kind of it's just one of them things that it's just come naturally to me, I think. But my family's kind of one of them things that to make something or fix it, all you need is one tool, and that's a hammer.
No, I got it.
Or in Joe's case, an orma.
Oma, that's better.
I'm just trying to work this out in my own head, because I saw that tiger that you scroll sawed, and that obviously required you to sit down and do nothing but that for quite some time. And that's like, and you said you're not really into an office job, and I'm going, well, I would think that would kind of work hand in hand. But
I actually stood up for that. I can't sit down and scroll saw.
Oh, you stand up and do it.
Yeah. And I don't know
hours. How many hours did that take you?
The first day I stood up for 6 hours. The second day I stood up for 5 hours. I can't remember the day after that. But as I was progressively going on, because I'm waiting for surgery on my
It
That's
just all
just
molds
that's because
together after a few days.
because on the
Yeah.
third day the gin and tonic kicked in and he doesn't remember
Yeah.
anything else after that.
Yeah, after that, I had to take a couple of days off, and because my ankle was like, you ain't standing no more.
Yeah, you know, I
So-
wanted to ask you about that. And quick seriousness, what did you actually do to your ankle, Jamie? Because in case people don't know it,
What did I do?
Jamie
to it?
has like a major bum ankle, and he's been waiting to go into surgery, waiting for the British healthcare system
for about 4 years.
for about 4 years for the British healthcare to take care of his ankle. What did you do to that? Why
It's kind of a birth defect, I guess. I actually had a problem on my left ankle where my foot was kind of twisted inwards, like my toes were pointing more towards my right foot. And then that was sorted out when I think it was 6 weeks old, maybe a bit earlier than that. So then that foot was sorted out and it went straight. And then my right foot, I had an operation on it because it was at, let's say, an angle of whatever degree, I don't know. And that got sorted out when I was 14 years old and straightened out. So I've got 3 staples in that foot. And over the past, I'm gonna say 5-6 years, maybe a bit longer, my left foot has gradually decided it wants to go over further and further. But
I got it.
for about 5 years, maybe a bit more, it's really started hurting more and more. But me being a stubborn bastard, I didn't go to the doctors.
No, I understand that.
And eventually it got to the point where pain was just getting too much. And I'm not one of these people that will, if I'm in pain, that will just get up and go and take painkillers. I don't like painkillers.
No, me either.
I've never really liked painkillers. I'm right. That's why I've got kind of a high pain threshold. See,
Jimmy?
I'd rather just deal with it.
Jimmy, and I don't want to get into the medical things. I don't want to bore people, but is it a tendon thing where your tendons aren't stretching, and is that the deal, or is it just?
I generally don't know, to be honest. Again, I don't know. It just seems to be doing it on its own, to be honest.
Oh.
I mean, at one point they were sending me for all sorts of scans. They even said that it could be a thing that my head could be telling my foot to just go over at one point. So there could be this.
That I'll believe that.
Yeah, my head's telling me to do weird stuff. Like come on this podcast today.
Yeah.
But yeah, but going back to making, yeah, I've always enjoyed getting my hands dirty, and again, never been one for sitting around. And now I couldn't sit in front of a typewriter or whatever it is, writing and all that.
Can you remember what your very first project was? Like your first proper, full-blown, start to finish, you made it kind of thing?
My very first project that I actually made, from actually not from making it proper seriously, not really, no, because I mean, from actually taking it seriously, I mean, taking it seriously it's got to be the John Lennon portrait. Apart
That's
from that,
brilliant.
I never really took it seriously until then. That was kind of the time to take woodworking or making seriously, and that was kind of like now's the time, really. And apart from that, I never really done anything on the scroll saw, holes, or like I'm going to say detailed. I done little words and things like that had holes in the middle. Like I'd write out something like dog or something like that,
Yeah.
for someone, but nothing with that detail. And it's kind of when you see people that turn around and say on YouTube now, it's sort of like, well, I can't do that because I haven't got your tools. Now, the funny thing about that John Lennon scroll saw, that scroll saw portrait, is I done that on the cheapest scroll saw out there. It was the crappiest scroll saw out there. It was a pinned blade scroll saw, and I had no fault with that scroll saw whatsoever. It got me whatever I wanted it to do, it done. And this is kind of one of the things that bugs me about it. If people turn around and say they can't do it, you can do it. It's just you choose not to.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, we've talked a lot on this podcast about like how we kind of loathe the scroll saw, but you really am an inspiration with the scroll saw. I mean, I've got mine in my other shed. I don't think I'll be getting it out anytime soon, but you're the reason I haven't thrown it away. Like, you really am. You're the only reason that I would actually take up scroll sawing, that I'd give it another go, because it's amazing the pieces of work that you come out with, and saying like going from using a cheap scroll saw and being able to produce that John Lennon portrait right up to today to producing that tiger.
Now,
really
this is another funny thing. That tiger that I done was, I think it's 26 or 28 inches wide. I done that on a 16-inch scroll saw. The scroll saw that I've got is not designed to do that size
of a piece,
right? And it's not designed to do that much intricacy in the work. It's a beginner scroll saw. In all effect, it costs around the area of £100, which is basically, I'm going to say, one of your America's Harbour Freight to your Canadian Tire, I guess. You know, it's just not designed to do that sort of stuff. But again, I pushed it to its limits and done it. Okay, I broke one of them, but I'd had it for about 3 years beforehand.
No, I thought we already determined that Richard broke that one.
Richard helped. But
Jamie,
I'd had it 3 years beforehand, so it had a lot of wear and tear anyway.
This is actually a good segue into our first audience question, Jamie. Steve Twidell wants to know if you consider yourself a professional scroll sawer.
No.
Come on.
Not by any means.
Okay, so maybe not from the the technical definition of somebody who earns their living taking money doing commission work, but purely from the standpoint of what you turn out and the level of the and I'll be the first person to turn around and say, yeah, personally I'm not into scroll sawing, but by heck, the stuff that you churn out, mate, is of top-notch quality. I think potentially you could be if you chose to do that for money. I think that's where we're looking at the professional, because I'd certainly consider you as a professional skill.
It's kind of funny. It's like as soon as I'd done something with like a lot of detail, take like the Nick Zammit portrait I'd done. As soon as that got posted somewhere, as soon as I'd done that one, it got recognised by Record Power, and all of a sudden I'm in talks with them now, and it's kind of things are kind of looking up just by doing one picture, so I mean, who knows where things can go from there. So
exactly. I mean, what was it that, because you also turn as well, don't you? You're not just a scroll sawer, but you do wood turning as well. I mean, I certainly recognise you as a scroll sawer.
Well, that's kind of how I started out. Yeah.
What was it about the scroll saw that attracted you initially?
How I got into scroll saw, I was kind of in. I was watching YouTube years and years ago, and I've always been interested in making, like I've just said, and I was clicking on random videos, and now you see on the description on the list at the side, you basically just random click on different videos, and different videos pop up. So I was like, oh, what's a scroll saw? Never heard of one of them before, right? And it was Sterling Davis, and he had made puzzle piece coasters and they had epoxy on the inside of them, and I think he put pictures of his family inside of it. And I clicked on it again, not knowing what a scroll saw was. Never seen one before, ever. And clicked on it, and I was like, "Wow!" It's like I was just infatuated by it. And after that, I was kind of like, "I need to get a scroll saw." And I just became infatuated. I was like, "That's it! I'm getting a scroll saw." End of.
Okay. So how long have you been doing that then? Actually, scroll sawing.
I think I got the first one on Christmas 2014. I think.
Well, so from then you've got to the level you am now. So that's like 3 years. Not even 3 years yet.
Yeah, I kind of took to it to a duck to water, if you like.
And that's why I kind of consider you a professional. I've been doing it for 2 years, and I know it's no secret that I can't stand the scroll saw, but I have put enough time into it, and I can't even begin to even come anywhere close to where you're at. But I want to hit you with another question from the audience, Jamie, a little more lighthearted. Is it true that JP is the only reliable member of Makers International podcast? And if so, for him, nobody would be here each week? Or if not, because of him, nobody would be here each week. I think there might be a typo in there,
without doubt.
That's got to be Steve Twidell, right?
I have about 8 questions here from the audience, and every one of them is Steve Twidell, by the way.
Oh, I don't doubt it. That man don't shut up.
Yes, Jamie is the most reliable one out of all of us, and if it wasn't for him, none of this that you're watching right now would be going on. So, it's blame Page time.
Yeah. Jamie, is it also true you have a tattoo under your left testicle of Carl Jacobson's logo because he thinks you're the dog's bollocks?
Close. It's Robin.
Oh.
Speaking of that, I have a question. It's back to your origin question. I want to know what the origin of this right here is, if you don't mind. What is the origin of that?
What is let me just click on that. The origin of that. Step Brothers.
What is the origin of that?
I can't remember. I think we was on one of Carl's Twitch streams, and we was doing movie quotes or something like that in the chat, I believe. And I think we ended up getting down to the movie Step Brothers.
You look
or
like
something like that.
That looks like the father. It looks like the father Brady and Greg Brady from the Brady Bunch. I mean, I don't know. It's like they took a photo together or something.
I think that's what it was. So I just decided Step Brothers. I'll edit the picture. Oh, I've got a lot of photo edits, Carl.
Carl's got to be the biggest inspiration then for why you got into wood turning, would you say?
He's not the reason why I got into wood turning, but he's certainly a big factor why I got into wood turning. He's definitely an inspiration for a lot of people. Yeah, for sure.
So it would be.
I'm not going to say no about him because it'd just blow smoke up his arse and he'd get a big head.
But it would be fair to say that he's been an influence on you.
Yes, without doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got to say though, Robin's more of an influence because she painted Optimus Prime.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't scroll sawn an Optimus Prime.
Well, is that something you'd say to Carl?
Oh, here we go. How did I guess this was coming? You was talking about him far too much. Hey, he's got no microphone. Cacao, Carl, cacao.
There we go. How's that?
That's good.
All right. Sorry. Oh, I am so sorry I'm late. I just finished up a 48-hour scroll sawing marathon.
I had to scroll that out earlier today. It took me all day.
Nice.
48 hours. I can believe it as well.
Hold it up again. Is that Jamie Page in the toilet? Let me see that again.
He done that on the band tour. There's no inside cuts.
I heard you talking trash about me, Jamie.
Yeah, but I was talking nice about your wife, so that evens it out.
Thanks for joining us, Carl.
Yeah, we're all good.
We couldn't do a show about Jamie Page and highlight Jamie without bringing his hero in. So we had to make sure that we got Carl to sign up to join us today.
His hero can't leave without showing his cacao tattoo either.
There,
There you go.
There we go.
Cow.
There you go, biker Carl, everybody.
But does Robin have a matching one?
Robin does have a cacao tattoo, yeah.
on her ankle. Yep, not matching though. Hers a lot prettier than mine.
Yeah, Carl's is just plain.
It's a prison tat.
Branding.
Made with a thumbtack.
So Carl, is there anything you would like to ask Jamie that you've always been afraid to ask? But now's the time to do it if you wanted to.
I pretty much asked Jamie everything, and regretted most of them.
I was going to say, fill us in on the questions and the answers, then, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think because I said it. I think because I said hurt.
What?
I think because I said no because it had hurt.
It would hurt.
I'm not going no further.
I don't understand that either, Carl. So don't worry about it. You're
British humor, Chris.
Right.
You wouldn't get it.
I got a good question for you, Jamie. This is coming from the Red Smith. After the scroll saw and the lathe, is there a tool or skill or technique that you were looking to learn? What is next?
After the scroll saw or the lathe?
Yes, after you've perfected both these crafts, what is next? What?
Scroll saw or the lathe?
sanding. You're gonna
really
sand.
yeah, sanding.
Perfect
Sanding.
Time to perfect that 80 grit sandpapering.
Actually, speaking of the Red Smith, I'd really want to have a go at trying some leather work. I've seen a few people on Twitch do that. There's a streamer called Parkers and Quinn, who I watch quite regularly, and she does some amazing work. And obviously Red Smith as well, incredible work. I've actually got one of Red Smith's cuffs, and when you see that thing up close, it's just incredible detail. So yeah, I'd like to have a go at leather work at some point, or even wood carving. That's another route I'd like to take.
It's
Or
something I think
route
you'd
for
be
you,
good at.
or route for you American folk.
I guess that leads nicely on, because you're, rather than disappearing off in, I mean, I tend to go in different directions just randomly, but scroll sawing, turning, carving, they're fairly well suited to each other, I think. So that makes a lot of sense. I mean, have you carved before? Have you done any of that, or is it just something that takes your fancy?
I bought a you know you get them really, really cheap carving tools from eBay. You know that they kind of feel like you're holding a pen with a little piece of metal on the end. I bought some of them and I was like, nah, ain't happening. So they kind of went into a pot, never to be seen again, and that was about 2 years ago. Yeah, I'd like to one day maybe try it. So I mean, who knows? I mean, you saw was it Sean from SE Woodworks just do that push stick, and that was incredible. So it's another talent. I mean, Shogun Jimmy done that carving not so long ago as well. I mean, Alan knows all about that. He ended up losing his hair.
Oh, he did the old man's face.
Yeah,
Jimmy,
and obviously Bobby Duke is another one. What have you ever seen Bobby Duke's carvings?
Never heard that name.
Yeah, they're
yes,
He does the big Maui hooks.
yes, I have seen him, and yeah, he does great work. Jimmy, let me ask you. Go ahead, Alan. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say James right. He's really on the ball with,
Of course,
with wood carving. He is something else, that guy.
Yeah, I actually got to see the clogs that he made in Atlanta up close. Man,
I don't know how any human can have the patience for that kind of thing.
I'll tell you, with that much detail, and then going around and wearing them in the street.
Well, back in the day, Alan, I'd say Quaaludes helped, but I'm not going to go there today. Jamie, just a quick question for you. Do you have any plans of coming back over to the States anytime soon? Because I think there's a gentleman who wears a red shirt that lives on the western coast of the United States that I would love to see you guys get together and do a collaboration together.
I'm hoping to. I'm hoping to very soon. Yeah. But why come over there? He's coming over here.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, it's just reciprocate, okay? I mean, come on.
Well, he's got to come here first.
I'm on my way.
But he can't. But he can't bring his shop to England. I mean, unless somebody's sponsoring you and they're giving you one heck of a budget, I don't think that's going to happen.
Trust me, with all them easy wood tools in his shop, he would not let me in his shop because they'd be empty by the time I left. They'd be in my case. And if I could fit that robust in my case, and that'd be in there and all.
No, I just think I would really enjoy one of Carl's Twitch streams with Jamie Page standing in the room. I just think that would be that would. I don't know that it would increase Carl's popularity at all, but I'd sure have a good time.
There's no way he'd be able to concentrate if that was possible.
I like ice. I can do it. I might have to put a gag on you though.
Yeah.
That's generally the reaction for people that actually meet Jamie, isn't it? They start to gag.
Wait, sponsorship opportunity. RZ mask for Jamie. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, everywhere would be the danger zone.
One thing that strikes me about you, Jamie, and actually of everyone here, you're actually the only person that I've physically met in person. Although it was quite a brief, twice. Although both of them were quite brief times. You haven't got, say, the most publicised YouTube channel.
No, not really.
But you have got probably one of the best reputations within the community, and I say this because people know who you are. People know the name Jamie. They associate you with the scroll store and obviously the turning and that as well. And where do you see that going? Because you've got one of the biggest hearts. You are just generally one of the most genuine blokes.
I'm definitely trying to. I mean, not so long ago, I was looking to change my logo and hoping to kind of rebrand, if you like, just make things better and start uploading more regular videos and things like that. But then I decided I was going to keep my logo, but I'm definitely going to start making more of an effort into it. I mean, I was actually sat down with Carl not long ago, and he kind of gave me a bit of advice on what to put in my video title and video things like that, the tags and all that lot. So
at some point you do want to get serious about this. And
yeah, without doubt.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Well, I know there's a whole community that loves you that would get behind you if you did that. So I wish you the best of luck, man. And so absolutely.
The thing is, I don't want it to be one of them things where I'm kind of obliged to upload once a week. I want it to be where it's fun for me. If I want to take a week off, and do you know what I mean? I want to be able to take that week off. I don't want to be held down to whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the.
And I don't want it to go back to how it used to be when I first started my channel, and where I stood in front of the camera like a complete stiff. Hello, welcome to JP Woodwork.
I'd watch that show.
I want to go on my channel and I want to go onto my channel and have a laugh and with the people that are watching me. I went on there wearing wigs and things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Because that's you, isn't it? You're not a stiff. You are you, and I think so many people know that because you're just all over the community, aren't you? I mean, you're constantly doing live streams, you're constantly doing hangouts, you're at all kind of times a day. I mean,
Yeah,
I see it.
I kind of.
Jamie's in a hangout at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, Jamie, I'm in bed asleep. Why aren't you? You're just. Everyone knows you. You're all over the place, and just so much a part of the community.
Yeah, I kind of live both American and English hours.
And that's so true too, Richard.
I don't mean that at all in a derogatory way. I mean that in such a, going back to what I said, you are genuine, kind of nice, open, wholehearted, nice guy, and that reflects in everywhere you are and everything. You're being, good old Jamie, having a laugh with the photoshops, but then you're there supporting people on their channels and promoting people, and constantly. Yeah. It's almost like your channel suffers because you're so into everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah. See, that to me, that kind of is the best way of putting it. See, to me, I'm not really bothered about that. As long as I can help other people and promote other people, as long as I can do that as well as sort my own channel out at the same time. That's kind of where I want to meet the two. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're looking for a win-win.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, you know what? And you're talking to the right guy, because the gentleman who has done it very successfully is sitting in the room today. I mean, you're talking to Carl, because Carl does that all the time, and it's to his credit.
I am nowhere near Jamie on the social media side of it. He is everywhere. He does an awesome job at it. But
he does. But his goals, Carl, were to do one and then to do the other at the same time, and I think that you've accomplished that as well. I mean, whether you feel you do or not, I mean, go be humble somewhere else, Mr. Jacobson. You're friggin' awesome, aren't it?
Thank you, sir. But yeah, I mean, he already got that side of it down. He's just doing a fantastic job at it, man. He really does. Supports everybody. It's great.
Yeah, go and dunk your head in a bucket full of ice cold water. You've been nice to me for too long.
I should have brought a wig.
You don't want to do that. You ruin your hair.
What was it Jamie said the other day? Jamie says, I think it was Jamie that did this on Facebook. He says, everybody, I hope you have as good of a day as Carl Jacobson has hair. And I went, and I just went, you know what? If that day ever happens, shoot me, because it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, it was me.
Jamie, I got a question I think everybody wants the answer to from you. Boxers or briefs?
Boxers or briefs? Depends on the day.
No, that's not an answer. That's not an answer.
Boxers. Straight out boxers.
Simple as that. 50 people.
Simple as that. Simple as that. Boxers.
But
okay, I agree.
Okay, but what's the point?
I actually have a favourite pair as well. They're actually one got only Fools and Horses on it, and on the back side it's got Lovely Jubbly.
Lovely Jubbly.
I thought you were gonna have I thought you were gonna say you had like the Peanuts characters or something.
Or like meatloaf boxes. I will do anything for love, and on the back, but I won't do that.
Jimmy wears a pair of SpongeBob boxers
with the nose missing.
If you have a pair.
So what's next for Jamie Page then? The JP Woodworking.
Woodwork. I don't know. I've got a massive Queen portrait, as in Lizzie Queen, not Freddie Mercury Queen.
Yeah.
That I've still got to do. I meant to do it yesterday, but they decided to have a party. Then I meant to do it today, but I couldn't because it's my girlfriend's birthday.
So you had a party?
So yeah. So that'll probably get done.
Joe, trying to come up with a third excuse now.
So that's probably going to get done tomorrow now. So that will be recorded. Because Record Power sent me some blades to or 3 different types of blades they want me to try out and kind of give my opinion on. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to doing that.
So Jimmy, are we ever going to get to meet your girlfriend?
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah.
I guess would now be a good time.
Okay, so I guess
No,
that hit didn't work so well. I take it
not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Chris, she's here right now. Hello.
How you guys doing?
Is her name Rosie?
So obviously I've got a few projects in mind coming. I don't really want to say too much about them. I mean, obviously the podcast guys, and I think Carl knows as well. But I kind of want to leave it as a surprise for the rest of the community as to what it's going to be. Either that, or I just don't want the rest of them to know because they might steal it.
Hopefully, they're turning projects.
One of them is. Another one is. It's hot. It's got a very minute piece of scroll sawing in it. The rest of it is nothing to do with scroll sawing. The main part of it is nothing to do with scroll sawing, but it's got a very little bit of scroll sawing in it.
That's about as vague as you possibly could have made it.
Yeah.
In actual fact, I might actually use that piece of maple bowl you sent me, Cole. It's actually a perfect piece of wood for it.
Yeah, we're talking about that. Yeah.
So
Hopefully it'll work
yeah.
out.
Yeah, let's hope it does. So yeah, I'm obviously gonna keep on plodding on, and see how we go.
Well, I think your channel. I mean, it might not be exploding like some channels, but you are there constantly, plodding along, putting stuff out, being part of the whole community as a whole, and just generally being a nice guy.
I love being part of this community. Without doubt, it's kind of a second family, if that's the best way of putting it.
I mean,
Jamie, go ahead, Richard.
Dysfunctional family, but family nonetheless.
I was going to say on the family front, if you don't mind. I mean, do you have brothers and sisters, or?
I've got one sister. Yeah.
One sister. What do they think about you? Dare I? I can't believe I just asked that.
She kind of. I don't really see her that much anymore, to be honest. She goes globetrotting a lot at the moment. So she actually just got back from Australia. When was it? A couple of days ago. So
wow, it's the lengths that some people will go to get away from me. That's I didn't mean to open a whole can of worms there. That could have gone seriously wrong. I meant from a point of view of, do you end up making stuff for them or getting asked to make stuff for them? And, it's like, Jamie does scroll sawing, so he
every now and again. My niece goes to a school. It's kind of a school for, I don't want to say, I might say, snobby kids.
Okay.
And like the upper class.
Right.
For snobby kids. What do they have, tea at like 6 a.m. every morning or what?
No, it's kind of like the more intellectual side of kids, but you get some snobby kids there.
Okay, I got you.
Right. But my niece is kind of like one of the common smarter kid, if you like. And she comes around here some days and she goes, Uncle Jamie goes, my teacher's blooming annoying me again. She goes, he asked me to do this. And he goes, I have to do that. And he keeps changing my projects and all this sort. So she asked me to, says, can you come out here and like cut up a piece of wood for me and all this sort. But I have to, it's like she's on the bandsaw and like I'm have to record her doing it and things like this for her, just so she can take it into the project. But she gets so angry that her teacher keeps changing the projects and all this sort. So yeah, I've had her out there before turning pens, and I've had I make things like who was it? I think my cousin came round as well one day, and they brought their kids around, and I turned a couple of spin tops, and all they'd done was basically put a couple of permanent markers up to it and coloured it in how they wanted, and they took them home with them. But yeah, it's good to get them out there.
Again, that just goes back to Uncle Jamie, nice guy. Straight back from what we've already been talking about, you in the community. You just are such a nice guy, a genuine guy as well.
Yeah.
If you was going to describe the woodworking community, it would just be Jamie Page. That's it in a nutshell.
Nah, family. It's not me. Nah, it's everyone.
But you're the daddy.
Yeah.
It sounded a little creepy.
You're the glue that holds it all together.
You know what? But this whole community is your attitude, because it is that schizophrenic. I mean, it really is that nice.
Yeah, as its moments.
Which is why you fit in so well.
Yeah, without doubt. So it's one of the things I love about it is in times of need, you can always rely on someone, whether it's a device for whatever, or say, for example, I know a computer is broken down. Hey, Cole.
Yep.
So
it's fantastic, Jamie. I didn't want. I know we have to start wrapping this up here relatively soon, but I didn't want to get away without asking you one thing that and I hope you'll take this in a lighthearted manner and not tell me something that's going to be dark and dungeony. But tell us something about yourself that probably none of us know.
That probably none of you know.
I want to know a little bit about Jamie that has never been revealed before, so we can use it against you in the future.
It's never been revealed
so we can get to know you better. I mean,
your deepest, darkest secret.
My deepest, darkest secret.
Not that far.
He doesn't like scroll story.
No, I don't like scroll story.
It can be Jamie. It can be a story. It can be whatever. You decide.
I don't own a CNC yet, Mr. Inventables.
You shameless man, you.
Wow. It wasn't quite the avenue I was going for, but okay.
Okay. Something about me that no one has ever known of, and I've always been quiet about this. But you know what? After Joe's episode, I've been kind of waiting for my spotlight to let this out.
All right.
And the secret is, since I was, I think, 14, I've actually suffered with epilepsy.
Wow.
And it's not serious. I haven't had one for quite a while, but every now and again I get jerks and all sorts of things like that. But again, it's been really, really well controlled. I've been quite fortunate. But yeah, it's one of the things that's been kind of passed down through both sides of the family. So before all you safety police come and tell me, don't do this, don't do that, I'm not going to cut myself on a scroll saw. Right, and I wear a face shield on the lathe.
Jamie, you know what? Can I share something with you?
Yeah.
I have the same affliction.
All right.
You're not alone.
All right.
I've had it since I was 17 years old. So it may just explain why we're weird.
Okay, I've taken a few knocks to the head.
It shows you don't let anything hold you back. It just adds to more of why you're an inspiration. It doesn't matter what's going on. You can just always there.
It's funny. I used to, I used to. I really used to. I used to let it get to me a lot.
Yep.
And one day I was like, you know what? Get ready to bleep it. F it.
Exactly.
That's one out.
But it takes some time to get there, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. It does. And one of the reasons is I don't know if obviously it's a podcast, you won't be able to see it, but I've got some big scars right on my forehead.
Yep.
Going right down there and across there. That was for having a big seizure. I was actually going up the stairs and came over the banister. And I can't remember if I landed head first on the. I think I took the radiator off the wall with my head.
How far of a drop was it?
Probably 3-4 meters.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
So yeah, just came straight over the side of the banister, and it's only like butterfly stitches.
And you know what people don't seem to understand about that, Jamie, is that it is very much under control. And like you, I have been very fortunate. I haven't had any problems in the last 20 years. So I operate my life like a normal individual. I just said I have to take medication for it every morning, and I've done that since I've done that since I was 18 years old. But it's just, well, good. I'm glad you shared that with us, Jamie, because it just kind of opens the doors for other people. And if anybody else out there is afflicted with that and they're hesitating to get things done, then the first thing I would like to say is get it under control. Make sure it's under control, and then go do what you want to do and go live a normal life, because it's absolutely possible.
I also want to say, if there's anyone out there in the Maker community that doesn't want people to know about it, but they want to talk about it, come and message me via the website or via my personal Facebook page or any other way. Just feel free to message me and talk to me about it.
You're a good man. You're a good man, and I'll offer my services there as well. Good for you, Jamie.
That's very powerful, that is.
Rock and roll, brother.
Just to cement the fact that Jamie is a nice guy. I know every week for the past 50 episodes, I've given you grief right at the very start, purely in jest. And yes, it will continue.
Well, not every week, because you missed one.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Well, I've got a pretty good record of it.
He did.
And it will continue, but it's, because Jamie's such a nice guy. He's one of these people who is annoying. It's horrid because he's so nice. There is no reason for anyone to hate him, and that alone, it makes him hateable in a light-hearted way. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to be.
I get what you're talking about.
Oh God,
you're a rare breed, Mr. Page, and that is a good thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't believe we've gone already for near 55 minutes. And this is generally one of the quickest shows we've done. I think it certainly feels the quickest. But what are you doing at the moment? Because you're working on the Queen portrait and a load of other super secret, keeping it close to your chest, sneaky beaky stuff.
After I've done the Queen portrait, I'm going to be working on like a war scene scroll saw portrait. I won't say it's a portrait, but a war scene, if you like. I've got to do a couple of them, so that's another one I'll be stack cutting. Then I've got to do I can't remember if it's I think it's a Jaguar. I've got to do, not a car, the cat.
The cat.
I've got to do a couple of them. Then I've got to do a wolf, a lion. I've got to do loads of them.
Are you going to scroll saw like a big boat to put them in?
Could do, yeah, big arc, yeah.
Going to float it down the Thames.
since I'm doing two of each.
Doing two at a time, yeah.
Might as well.
Quality.
So, yeah, but I'm going to try and get some turning videos in between at some point. I've got a fair bit of milliput out there as well, so I might mess around with that. But actually, nice. I think it was Richard Martin that put an idea into my head. What was it? It was just after I'd done the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon bowl. He suggested doing, I think it was the Iron Maiden bowl, and I thought I might do that in, because the Iron Maiden with Eddie. There was so I got a piece of Purple Heart or something like that. What I was going to do is like scroll saw the Eddie out of a Purple Heart blank and fill it with milliput. Obviously the black milliput, so it looks like so the whole Eddie is kind of like up the sides of the bowl, and so that's one I'm willing to share. So if anyone wants to use that instead, because that's going to take a lot of milliput and it'd be blooming expensive.
Bankrupt competition.
I think Jim Overton's the only one that could afford to do it because he gets free milliput.
Do you, and I've just thought of this has just popped into my head. Do you reckon you could combine a turning and a scroll saw project?
Yeah, without doubt.
Okay, that was a much quicker answer than I was expecting, but yeah, moving swiftly on.
Marius Thornberg has already done it.
Could be, okay, fine. Right. So, what are you watching at the moment, then, Jamie?
What am I watching at the moment? Well, I like to say I'm watching something at the moment, but it's actually not already. There's actually, I think the video's just been uploaded to it, but it's kind of a re-edited video. But the channel I'm watching, or will be watching, because it's coming soon, is Rob and Steve Live and Uncut. Now that is Rob Summerlin from Worsley Summercraft and Steve Twidell of Temple Boy Turnings, the double troublesome twosome. they're doing a live show. I believe it's going to be on Saturday evenings or afternoon or your American time, and it's all going to be about their stories, because there's a lot of them, and when them two get together, I mean, I've been to hang out with them a couple of times, and them two are just hilarious.
That should be a laugh, to say the least.
And I've heard some of their stories, and one of them that sticks out before is we was in the hangout with Eloy as well, and Steve was telling a story of when Steve and Rob went to, I think it was Memphis, and they went on a trip to see Elvis and all that sort of stuff, and they basically ended the trip fighting for their lives, and because of like hillbillies and all that lot, like attacked them. And Eloy was sort of like sitting in a room not knowing what to say. He was like, huh? And they got so many stories between them, because they grew up since they were like knee high to a grasshopper, and it's going to be a hell of a show. So yes, Rob and Steve Uncut.
Wasn't it Rob that got Steve into wood turning? If I might be getting my facts wound up, or a different thing. Because remember when Steve was on the podcast?
So. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
I know there's a long-lasting connection.
I think it was either Rob or Rob's dad. Maybe, because I know Rob's dad had a lathe, and I think that may have been the start of Rob starting turning. And obviously, Rob and Steve have been best friends for years, so maybe that was, I'm not sure. I can't remember. We'll have to go back and listen to it.
Well, Richard, I'm sure if we all watch the show, we'll all find out.
Richard, just a suggestion: can we possibly forego the rest of us talking about what we're doing and who we're watching and things like that for this podcast, and just let this remain Jamie's show, and kind of end it here, if you guys don't mind, because we all love Jamie very much, and we give him a hard time every week. But I just kind of want to make sure that this thing is about Jamie, and I don't want to distract from that. So, if Richard, if you're so inclined,
absolutely, that sounds like a good plan to me. Yeah.
All right. Well, Carl, thank you so much for accepting the invitation and popping in with us, because I couldn't imagine doing a Jamie Spotlight without having Carl Jacobson in the room at one point or another. So it was awesome for you to join us today, man. Thank you.
Wouldn't have missed it, Dan. Thanks.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks. I just want to quickly say hello to Robin, who's over in the chat. Love your painting work.
Oh, and just love her as a person. I mean, Carl married the right lady.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Robin married the lovely man as well.
Oh, Jamie is such a suck up.
And according to Richard, that's a reason for us to hate you both.
Excellent. Well, if we're gonna end the show with just Jamie, and we're coming up on the hour. We'll do all our shout outs another time. We can put the links in the thing anyway. But Jamie, where can everyone find you? Because if they're watching this and they haven't found you, they really, really should. So go plug yourself, dude.
Well, you can't find me at makercentral.co.uk.
Oh God, here we go. Oh God.
But you can find me at JP Woodwork on YouTube and JP_Woodwork at Twitter and Instagram.
Not to be confused with.
Yeah, you can also find us on Makers International. You can find all our social media links at makersinternationalpodcast.com.
God love you.
not to be confused with makercentral.co.uk.
It's funny no matter how many times.
And if anybody ever
Every time.
remembers, and if anybody ever remembers any of that, I'll be freaking amazed. Good.
Brilliant. Well, do you know what, Jamie? I'm just going to leave it completely up to you to just close the show. Over to you, my friend.
Well, thank you everybody for turning up, and hang on, let me just quickly go over to the live link and not disliking the video yet.
Wow.
Thank you for Joe, Chris, Richard, Alan, and Cacao, Carl. Good luck, everybody.
Everybody have a great week.
See you later.
See you next week.
Have a week.